They looked invincible, sculpted bodies, millions of followers, and glowing smiles. But behind the strength were silent battles no one could see. In this video, we uncover the heartbreaking stories of female bodybuilders and fitness influencers who died suddenly in 2025. Some passed in silence. Some left behind children. And in every case, one question still echoes. How could someone so strong leave so suddenly? Jodie Vance, a rising star, silenced too soon. Jodie Vance was just 20, young, focused, and full of fire. She wasn't just building her body, she was building a future. With a degree in sports and exercise science from West Texas A&M University, she had already begun coaching others, guiding them toward the very goals she chased herself. Her energy lit up every room, and her dedication was unmatched. People believed she'd be the next big name in bodybuilding. But on February 27, 2025, that future vanished. Jodie had traveled to the Arnold Sports Festival in Ohio not to compete, but to support her athletes. While backstage, something went horribly wrong. She began vomiting, dehydrated, and dizzy. Within hours, her heart gave out. She was rushed from the Sonesta Columbus downtown hotel to Grant Medical Center, but it was too late. Doctors couldn't bring her back. Later, her coach revealed something shocking. Jodie had secretly used 2 dangerous substances to enhance her physique for the expo. She hadn't told anyone, not even her family. She wasn't even preparing for a competition. She just wanted to look her best. The bodybuilding world was stunned. A bright talent, gone in an instant. And the most painful truth? She pushed her body in silence until it pushed back. Her story isn't just tragic. It's a reminder that the strongest-looking people often carry the heaviest, hidden burdens. Katie Donnell, the workout queen. Katie Donnell lived fast, not in recklessness, but in discipline. At just 28, she was the picture of health. A Florida teacher by day, a workout queen by passion. She ate clean. She trained hard. But behind that glowing fitness routine was a hidden danger, one that even the strongest heart couldn't fight. Katie wasn't just addicted to working out. She was hooked on caffeine. Not just morning coffee. She reportedly drank 3 energy drinks a day, added caffeine supplements before workouts, and regularly reached for 4 packs of heavily caffeinated drinks every few days. It made her feel powerful, energized, unstoppable. But beneath the surface, her heart was quietly struggling. In August, while hanging out with friends, Katie suddenly collapsed. Her eyes rolled back. Her body fell limp. At first, they thought it was a stroke, but it was worse. She'd gone too long without oxygen. 3 hours of emergency efforts couldn't save her. 10 days later, her body still wouldn't wake up. Doctors told the family there was nothing more they could do. On March 24, 2025, suspected, her family made the unimaginable decision to let her go. Her heart had given out, and though no official cause was linked to caffeine, her mother is certain. I know for a fact that's what killed her. Katie's story is a terrifying reminder. The body may look strong on the outside, but inside, something as common as an energy drink can quietly push it past the edge. Johanna Perez, the champion who inspired a nation, silenced too soon. Johanna Perez wasn't just building muscle, she was building history. Born in Panama, she rose through the ranks of bodybuilding not only as an athlete, but as a symbol of strength for women across Latin America. She carved her legacy through years of discipline, sweat, and quiet defiance, showing the world that a woman from Panama could stand shoulder to shoulder with the best on any international stage. In 2018, she shocked everyone by winning the bikini category at the Mr. Olympia Amateur in Colombia, a moment that etched her name into the world of fitness legends. Later, in Miami, she stood tall once again, finishing 4th at the NPC Diamond Classic, her toned physique and magnetic energy capturing eyes and hearts alike. But Johanna wasn't just competing, she was teaching, sharing, uplifting posting routines, diet advice, and motivation to her 46,000 Instagram followers. She was a light in the fitness world. Then, everything stopped. Just 3 days after turning 35 in late October 2024, Johanna suddenly passed away due to a blood clot. No warnings, no goodbyes. The news didn't break until early 2025, and when it did, it felt like a punch to the chest. The fitness community was stunned. How could someone so disciplined, so healthy, so full of life vanish in an instant? Her death left behind haunting questions. Was it the extreme physical pressure, the silent stress of competition, or just a cruel twist of fate? Whatever the cause, Johanna's story reminds us, even the strongest hearts can be taken without warning. Cammie Lusko. She was once called the world's strongest woman, and yet her name quietly faded into history. Cammie Lusko wasn't just a bodybuilder, she was a pioneer. Born on April 5, 1958 in Los Angeles, she entered the male-dominated world of weightlifting when women were barely accepted in the sport. By the age of 21, she was already making waves, placing third in her first competition, the 1979 Robbie Robinson Classic. In 1980, she stood among legends at the very first Ms. Olympia, placing ninth. But when judges favored beauty over strength, Cammie walked away. Instead, she chased real power, and she found it. In 1983, at just 130 pounds, she shocked the world by lifting 131 pounds overhead with one arm, a feat no woman had achieved before. That moment sealed her name in the Guinness Book of World Records. She wasn't just competing, she was inspiring. At guest appearances, she would lift men heavier than her over her head like it was nothing. Her message was clear. Strength has no gender. She passed away in Long Beach, California on November 22, 2024. But the heartbreaking part? Her death wasn't reported until early 2025, when the world slowly began to realize that one of the greats had quietly left us. Pat Ugwu, the fitness starlet whose final curtain fell too soon. She called herself a fitness influencer, but Pat Ugwu was much more than toned muscles and gym selfies. She was a rising force in Nollywood, a woman who blended beauty, strength, and talent in a way that made her unforgettable. Born on December 13, 1989, Pat didn't just act, she inspired. Through her performances and her passion for fitness, she created a persona that radiated energy, confidence, and fire. But then came February 5, 2025, the day the lights dimmed. The news broke through an emotional Instagram post by fellow actor Emeka Okoye, a funeral poster, a cry of disbelief, a flood of heartbreak across the Nigerian film industry. "So we no get to work again?" he asked in shock. Stars like Destiny Ediko, Rita Edochie, and Kevin Mike echoed the same pain. The suddenness of her death sent waves of fear through Nollywood, another soul gone too soon in a year already marked by loss. Pat's cause of death was never officially revealed. One moment, she was posting, smiling, flexing. The next, she was gone. Behind the strength she displayed online, behind the roles she played on screen, was a woman whose life ended far too early, at just 35 years old. And while the silence surrounding how she died remains chilling, her voice still echoes in every scene she graced. A reminder that even those who seem unbreakable can vanish without warning. But these weren't the only ones we lost. 2025 took away some powerful names, but a few bright stars faded even earlier, in 2024. Now we'll remember those fit, beautiful, and inspiring women. Gone too soon, but their stories are still waiting to be told. Fabiana Veras. She was strong, she was sharp, and she saw it coming. Fabiana Veras wasn't just a psychologist, she was a powerhouse. A competitive bodybuilder with a sculpted physique and a mind trained to heal others. In her 40s, she balanced two worlds, helping patients by day, training like a warrior by night. From Brazil's fitness circuits to wellness conferences, Fabiana was admired for her discipline, beauty, and inner strength. Her social media was filled with workout clips, mindset tips, and empowering messages, especially for women. She had the kind of body that spoke of years of dedication and the kind of heart that tried to lift others out of darkness. But behind the strength was something no one could see. On April 23, 2024, Fabiana was found dead inside her home office in Ugwu, tied up, stabbed, gone. Surveillance showed a man she knew, possibly over a past relationship, walking in with a mask and walking out covered in blood. Just months earlier, Fabiana had posted a chilling warning about toxic love, jealousy, control, fear. Maybe she saw it coming, maybe she tried to fight it. But this time, the enemy wasn't a weight to lift or a problem to solve. It was someone she trusted. And in the end, the woman who stood for strength became a silent warning for us all. Rhayara Morais. Rhayara Morais wasn't just another influencer. She was a powerlifting champion, a footballer, a law student, and a woman who rebuilt her life with muscle, confidence, and ambition. In just 2 years, she transformed herself, proudly earning the title of Brasilia Powerlifting Champion. Her following grew to over 500,000 on TikTok and nearly 150,000 on Instagram. She became a face of strength, health, and discipline in Brazil. But then, Silence. A friend tried to call. No answer. Days passed. Worry turned into dread. And finally, police broke into her apartment in Aguas Claras. Rhayara's lifeless body was found 6 days after her death. No warning, no clear cause. Just a sudden disappearance of light. Investigators haven't confirmed whether it was illness or something else, but the mystery is chilling. Her body lay alone for nearly a week. The autopsy results were kept quiet, and her fans, millions of them, were left in shock. She had sponsors, a private site, and a future. But in the blink of an eye, it was all gone. Was it stress? Was it something darker? No one knows yet. But the bodybuilding world lost another shining star, suddenly and far too soon. Cintia Gulani. She trained to be unstoppable, and yet something as silent as breath took her down. Cintia Gulani was more than a figure competitor. She was a coach, a mentor, a powerful symbol of grace and strength. In Brazil's bodybuilding scene, her name was known and respected. Just last year, she proudly placed 10th in the prestigious figure category at the Brazilian Muscle Contest. Her dream? To help women rise in the sport physically, mentally, and competitively. She taught posing, discipline, and performance. Her Instagram was filled with workouts, inspiration, and hope. But behind the muscles, her body was quietly fighting something deadly. At just 36, Cintia was gone. A severe case of pneumonia ended her life far too soon. No one expected it. She looked healthy, strong, and vibrant, posting workouts as recently as June. Now the same body that once commanded a stage lies still. Her partner, also a bodybuilder, shared the last photo he had of her, smiling, radiant, full of light. "You were the best human being I've ever met," he wrote. She was preparing for the next competition, planning events, training others, until suddenly, everything stopped. In a world obsessed with strength, Cintia's story reminds us some battles happen quietly, inside, and they take the strongest among us. Raechelle Chase. She inspired over 1 million people, but no one saw her silent pain. Raechelle Chase wasn't just a fitness model or an online influencer. She was a mother, a fighter, and the heartbeat of her family. With her toned physique and motivational posts, she became one of New Zealand's most recognizable figures in fitness, racking up over 1.4 million followers on Facebook. But on October 6, 2023, her voice went quiet. She was just 41 years old when she was found unresponsive in her Auckland home. There was no warning, no explanation, and to this day, her cause of death remains unknown. The world knew her for her beauty and discipline, but her children knew her as the woman who made birthdays magical, who turned backyards into wonderlands, who stood as both mother and best friend. Especially for her eldest daughter, Anna, who was suddenly left with the impossible task, to raise her siblings while grieving the woman she called Mum. Now 25, Anna cares for her brothers and sisters, Kingston, Dior Rose, Carlos, and Jax. Every morning, she wakes up not just as a sister, but as a second mother, cooking, cleaning, comforting, and crying silently when no one's watching. Raechelle had overcome so much: a difficult marriage, a toxic relationship, raising 5 kids on her own. She even became the first Kiwi woman to compete at Mr. Olympia in Las Vegas in 2011. Through every setback, she stood tall, offering hope to women everywhere that strength and femininity could exist together. But the truth is, no amount of muscle can protect the heart from breaking. Her last Instagram post was haunting. Growth can be painful, change can be painful, but nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere you don't belong. She was last seen alive just days before. Since then, a coroner's investigation has been opened, but her family is still left in the dark, searching for answers, shielding her memory from online whispers, and trying to hold each other together. In 2025, her story resurfaced across headlines, not for the fame, but for the pain, for the silence she left behind, and for the daughter who stepped up when the world fell apart. They lifted more than just weights. They carried dreams, families, and the hopes of millions who watched them. But even the strongest bodies can hide the deepest wounds. As we remember these powerful women, let's not just admire their strength, but also recognize the silence that often follows the spotlight. Because sometimes the loudest cries are the ones no one hears.